All
There we
right.
go.
Sweep the leg, Steven.
Hold on a second. ABC, it's George Stephanopoulos, the guy who worked for the Clintons.
Yeah.
As their
These guys
White
are
House
the
chief
worst.
correspondent. Was that what it was? I forget the
worst.
title. What is your read on the debates tonight there,
So
Mr. Pro-Am winner?
Yeah, exactly. So if you go back to the beginning, I said that he was going to have to get people excited about voting for him, for Joe
Who's
Biden.
he?
Joe Biden, right?
Oh,
he was going
okay.
to have to get people excited, and
Because
so he had to go
there
to the
were
left.
two.
He had to go to the left. Joe Biden had to go to the left, and he did. He went further than I think we thought he would go by citing the Green New Deal, the most ludicrous proposal that's ever been put forward, mostly in that it has
Have you
5
heard
pages.
every proposal?
Yeah, it is the most.
Have you heard of the Georgia law that
absolute
bans
most.
funny hats that scare children?
It is the worst economic policy ever proposed
That's an
by
actual law.
AOC.
Okay.
So there we go. Yeah, I'll be a little bit more specific there. And I think Donald Trump at times he did a good job stepping out of the way and giving Joe Biden a little bit of rope. And then at other times he was just like he could not control himself. And I felt really bad for Chris Wallace because there's no way to get Donald Trump to stop in those moments, but he tried. And then Joe Biden did what I think the left wanted him to do. He challenged Donald Trump. He called him a clown. We looked at that as like, oh, you're just like Donald Trump. The left looked at that as finally somebody's playing with fire a little bit on our side and throwing it at Donald Trump. And I don't think it's going to play super well.
The problem is Joe Biden lit himself on fire like Dark Man with a beaker.
Yeah. I think the left thinks they won tonight. I think that everything that he said, the headlines like you've said, everything that he quoted that was non-specific, he didn't put himself on a plan. He didn't come up with any planks to a platform. But the left thinks that they won tonight.
And there were plenty of dementia moments, I will say, from Biden, but he presented himself as more competent than people anticipated.
Yeah.
And as far as, like we said, the expectations, surpassing expectations, I think Donald Trump might run into some problems in that he, again, I just have to speak on this objectively, came across as bombastic, a little bit argumentative, where he should have given more room to Joe Biden to hang himself.
Yeah.
He definitely did last time, like with Hillary Clinton, that he did almost the same playbook of just interrupting.
Right, but there was so much hatred for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
that he
exactly.
could
I think it
poke
might
at
not
her.
be
with
a
Joe
good
Biden,
play.
He's got to be a little bit more careful.
People despised Hillary Clinton. People feel bad for Joe Biden. Whether they'll admit it or not, people do not think that Joe Biden should be trotted out on stage as he is right now. This is a vessel of his, I don't want to say a vessel of his former self, because he's always been this vessel of his former self. He's just less mentally with it at this point. So you do have to be a little more careful because there's more sympathy, there's more empathy for someone like Joe Biden because he's functionally retarded.
Yeah. I think here's something to say on the left. Andrew Yang 2 minutes ago tweeted, I think Joe won, but it felt like America lost. Well, America only lost if you don't see all the great policies that Donald Trump has enacted during his 4 years. Really, again, only 3.5 years so far because we've still got a little bit of time left for that nomination.
We do.
But
which, by the way, would be in line with a precedent of 29 times.
Only 29.
I don't remember a
Lucky
president
number 30?
nominating a Supreme Court justice in his final year 29 times. 29 times.
Well, look, if Andrew Yang, who's been out there all the time, my cousin Wang Chung Yang, is out there saying
apology accepted,
that he thinks that Joe won, I can tell you that is exactly the problem that Joe couldn't overcome. He could not figure out a way to get people excited about his presidency, and he did nothing to change that here. My particular take is that there's no question that when it came to substance, when it came to clarity on positions and policies, Donald Trump vastly outperformed everything that Joe Biden had. All Joe Biden can do was, I hate this guy.
Right.
Stare at the camera with my
Which,
blank
by the way,
eyes.
that's important for people. This is one thing, too, that we try to do with this show, as opposed to just saying, hey, this guy sucks, this guy's good. We try to encourage you, that's what changed my mind, is how to think. So let me ask you this. Regardless of where you line up personality-wise, okay, let's sort of put that on the shelf for a little bit. Donald Trump was very specific. Donald Trump was touting his record. Donald Trump was saying, hey, we did this. We changed these policies from your administration. We deconstructed Obamacare. We completely eliminated the individual health care mandate. He was being very specific on policies, the economy, the unemployment rates. And Joe Biden, I think everyone would have to agree, apparently even Andrew Yang seems to be implying that, was as broad as possible and nonspecific. What does that tell you about their confidence in their own policies? Someone who says 3.5% unemployment, you never had it, as Donald Trump said. And Joe Biden going, no, listen, he wants billionaires to make more money. Someone who says, I am supported by every major law enforcement organization and noted official in the country. Who do you got? Listen. crab apples. You know, the point is,
Yeah.
who do you think has more confidence in their policy? Even though you may not like Donald Trump's personality, he is willing to stake his claim right now on his accomplishments, this administration, and the results. And Joe Biden could not be pinned down or answer anything specifically, ironically, outside of the Green New Deal. And the only reason for that is because it's so nonspecific, it gives the government complete and total oversight and control over every aspect of your life. Again, it's only 5 pages.
Right,
if you've never read a single other bill in your life, okay? I've always said this to Americans out there. I read it on my channel, so you can listen to me read it like an audio book for 19 minutes. It might be 16 minutes or 19 minutes. Just type
yeah,
in
it
wasn't long.
Stephen Crowder, Green New Deal, so long as YouTube is still allowing the algorithms to work appropriately. If you've never actually read any other bill entirely, just do the Green New Deal because it's only 5 pages. You do that, you'll never vote for anyone who supports it. I guarantee you.
Could you read it? I wasn't sure I caught the quote exactly.
Is it a
Was
force?
it?
Joe Biden opposed desegregation because, if I can find the page, oh, there we have. He didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle.
Wait, where's Too Cute Maddie with just
gotta
Joe
be-
Biden's face on the front of the Fern Gully bulldozer, where he's like, "No racial jungles here, no racial
I suppose all
jungles
jungle
here."
Put his head on top of the
Racial
oil slick.
Yeah.
Anyone who remembers Fern Gully, that was
Terrible.
absolute propaganda, indoctrination of children at its peak. No, I think those are all good points. What would you say is your kind of takeaway, half Asian Bill?
You know, look, I think there's a lot of room for the president to take some constructive feedback about letting Joe hang himself.
Yeah.
We've said it. I know we've already said it. You've said it. We've all said it. You got to just let him have the room because, look, Donald Trump isn't going to necessarily convince a ton of people to swing over to the other side and vote for him, but he's got to let Joe fall in his face. And unfortunately, a lot of those interruptions, I personally thought, were ones that it wasn't that the president was making at credible points. Sometimes he did, so I'm going to give him that. But there were a number of times where I just thought, if you had let Joe finish that half-formed, mumbly thought,
Think about it.
it
Every
would have
time
fallen.
Joe Biden had enough time, he had his dementia moment, and we hit that ding, and all of a sudden, Gerald got soused. So the point is, no, absolutely, you're right. And this is one of those things, you never want to corner an opponent so that they don't have an out.
Right.
What you want to do is give them one out, give them one back alley, and be waiting for them.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard to do against Joe Biden, and Donald Trump didn't do that, which I will say gives me a little bit of pause. I worry about the accountability. Does Donald Trump have anyone around him saying, listen, I know that you think Joe Biden's an idiot, and I know that you've done a great job, but to convey that to the American people, you have to give him enough room here.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, I was hoping that maybe it would be that sort of pattern disruption. And you see that with some great fighters throughout history. While we're going on that theme, you see that with Muhammad Ali. You see that with Joe Louis, where all of a sudden they would come in and sort of march step you, right? They would come in and swarm you and then give you space. And you go, wait a second,
what do I do?
I'm preparing to be swarmed here. Now I've got space. What do I do? This is a whole different process. This is different footwork. I have to cut a different angle. If he'd have done that where he just crowded Joe Biden early on and then all of a sudden completely laid back, I guarantee you Joe Biden would have been confused and not known what to do with it. Because every time we've seen that happen, tonight anyway, Joe Biden sort of tripped over himself. So I would like to see more of that in future debates. That being said, I would say on a substantive level, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.